Hi, I'm Rasheed Ogunlaru, and I'm delighted to be here with fellow coach, author, trainer, the amazing Jackee Holder.
Amazing.
The amazing author of 49 Ways to Write Yourself Well. This is your third book.
Yes, it is.
Let's get straight in there. Tell me a little bit about this book and what inspired this particular book.
Well, I've been wanting to write this book for years because writing is very much a part of my own daily practice.
Right.
It's become very much a spiritual practice.
Right.
But I have gained many therapeutic benefits from creative writing in terms of keeping a journal and also reflecting on what I write in my journal and using it to gain insight and understanding into my own life, into my own career, what makes me tick, what gets in the way of my intention. All of those things. So for me, writing has been a map. It has guided me to my inner world.
Right. So it's powerful for you in a number of ways. So you're an author, but it also has a healing, creative and therapeutic quality. And that jumps out at me about the book. And I guess for perhaps 20 years or so, we've begun to raise our consciousness around writing, healing, journaling and so on. And it looks as though you've kind of taken now as an opportunity to look and bring together lots of wisdom around this for us. That's the sense I get around this particular book. So what will somebody discover if they're buying this book, if they're reading this book?
They'll discover a number of things. First of all, they'll discover the ways to quite simply and quite easily get into journaling. Because I think journaling seems quite, it's something that seems quite a barrier to most people, and I want to make it be much more accessible and simple and easy.
So people might think, oh, there's a particular way that I've got to do it, or I've got to have this type of thing, or I've got to do journaling at this time, or in this particular way.
Or I have to be the sort of person to journal, so it's only those people over there that journal. But I really see the journal as something that you can do quite easily on an index card, or something on your iPhone. You can practice very much, even though I'm a real advocate of handwriting. I write so much on my iPhone. So I'll be on the tube, on the notes app, and I just kind of download ideas and fragments of things. They all just come together.
So then this is really, really interesting, and we're here as the, if anyone's in the background noise, it's the hubbub of people pouring into the book launch here tonight. Tell me a little bit about what's the relationship between this and the first two books. Your first book's called Soul Purpose, and love the title. You know, sounds very much as it sounds, about helping somebody find what they're about, that purpose in life and living that. Tell us about that book, and then the second book, and then this book, and the relationship. Is there a relationship between the books?
That's a really good question, because I think that I really believe that the writing shows you where you need to go.
Right.
So sometimes you don't always know what it is you need to be talking about.
Right.
Writing will lead you. And it was really interesting because my first book, Soul Purpose, was very much.
Well, we're just being interviewed, that's right.
Some of the lovely people.
That's right, people can't wait to see, they're all pouring in. This is live TV. So the first
one was a personal reflection and a personal memory into my own personal journey. It didn't cover all of it. I was very new to writing. It wasn't something that I felt totally confident about expressing of all aspects of my spiritual journey and my inner sort of excavations on the page, but it was very important point because it gave me the confidence to get myself into the page.
Yes, that third book was in a way for you to discover your self-purpose. The second book then, and then what's the segue into this one? So I'm fascinated.
Well, the segue into the second one is because my career as a coach really has been embedded over the last 15 to 20 years. You know, I was definitely one of the first.
Very much so. I remember when I was emerging in the coaching scene in my youth, I might add. Absolutely,
And I wanted to make coaching much more accessible. So I wanted to give people who perhaps didn't have, a lot of money to pay for one-to-one coaching sessions. I wanted to create a book that was accessible with some of the tools, and you'll find there's a very close relationship between 49 Ways to Write Yourself Well and the style of.
I saw that. I noticed that.
I noticed that. Which is 52 ways to coach yourself. And for me, it's about what are these techniques that we can have at our disposal that you can easily use, that you don't have to go to a therapist, you don't have to go to a counselor, you don't have to necessarily go to a coach. These are things that you can self-advocate to yourself and actually come away feeling better, more inspired, more engaged, more energized.
great.
So those are the themes, really.
Well, and then, so coming back to this, the thing that I get a sense of this, I was kind of looking at the book, kind of glancing through the book and thinking, that I get the feeling that this lovely segues between lots of different people who might find it of interest to them. I get the feeling that people who are in around the therapeutic world, people who write, and people who are just curious about this thing about writing, healing, connecting with themselves. And is that deliberate, that there's quite this broad church of people who might find that this book is something, that there's something in it for them?
Yeah, it's interesting that you use the word church,
yes,
because it's the kind of book where I'm hoping that people from all different paths and different professions would actually come and feel happy to take a pew, take a seat, and actually grab out their pen, pencil, or whatever writing method they're going to use, and actually feel comfortable to dip in. I love books that you can dip in that kind of grab you. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want it to be a book that feels like I have to know everything. I want it to be a book that people think like this looks exciting.
Well, it's lovely. It does, doesn't it? I mean, it's very rich. The imagery, it's a lush kind of book. You can. Almost like a cookbook, and you can, you can, and recipes and that kind of stuff. Is that, right. So, what's your hope with this? What's your hope for this particular kind of book? Because I guess it's early days. We just launched, but do you have any wishes for this particular book and its journey?
That's again another great question, and there are lots of wishes for it. I would like to see it in the hospitals. I would like to see it in the waiting rooms of doctor's surgeries as a writing prescription. I gave a copy to my doctor when he was besides himself with enthusiasm. He said, "Jackee, this is fantastic." And because my book is backed up by a lot of research, so it's not just it's not just I think these things work. It's actually going into the world of neuroscience. It's going into the world of therapy. It's going into the world of science and saying, look, these are some of the discoveries that have been made, and linking it to how writing reduces stress. In terms of our psychological well-being, in terms of our emotional well-being.
Telling our story and connecting to ourselves and our path and finding ourselves, hence back to soul purpose. Hence back to that soul purpose, because somebody can discover themselves through the page.
This is what I try to say to people. Writing is a treasure. It's a treasure map. And you never know what you're going to discover once you start doing it. I get that it's not for everybody. This book is for those people who feel that writing is a tool that they can actually use and would really be helpful.
Well, that's really powerful. Well, that's so powerful. I think that you've said it all. I think it's a beautiful point to look at. I wish you all the best with the book launch tonight and as it goes out there. And I hope that people do discover it at the hospital, at the GP surgery, at various places, on the bookshelf at the therapist, and so on. And I certainly will be having it on my bookshelf for those people who come to see me. So thank you very much. Wishing you all the best. I'm going to leave you just to smile at the camera as I switch it off. And thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.